This is April 15th, and we're all protesting the fact that they want to relicense this very dangerous nuclear power plant. And the powers that be never learn their lessons, and they force their technologies and dangers on all of us. And they don't listen to the wise people. And as a result, our world is destroyed systematically. We're going to do some interviews anyway of these good people here, these caring people. And thanks for watching. So ducks against Diablo, huh?
Ducks against Diablo.
Wow. Tell me, why are you here?
I'm here because I think we should end nuclear power everywhere. It's a threat to us, human civilization, the animal kingdom, who have no voice. We don't need it. We can have green alternative energy that would bring people jobs. It's ridiculous that we haven't done it yet. After 20-something years that this has been fighting for this, at least. It's totally ridiculous. You need to write your government officials and demand it. Demand.
Thank you. Oh. How are you doing?
Not too good.
Okay, just keep you'll get used to it.
Over on the grass.
Yeah.
There's Diane.
I'm just going to interview your ducks here for a minute. Well, ducks, what do you think about nuclear power? Huh? What are you saying? Don't duck the issue?
Saying, please help us. We're all dying.
He's saying it hurts us ducks too. All right. Good message.
Welcome everyone. My band, The Incorruptibles. I want to thank the Mothers of Peace for putting this together. I want to thank them for inviting us. 32 years ago in Camp Edwards, I was blessed as a young songwriter to be a Maxer with Bonnie Raitt, Graham Nash, Jackson Brown, and Peter Yarrow and others. They're not here today. But I want to start with the song Puff the Magic Dragon that we sang at the last rally if you were there. And in the honor of Mary, let's all sing it. I used to listen to her all night on my crystal radio as a little boy. She sang to me at night. I can't wait to hear her singing again. We got Mother Nature on the run. We on our own. This summer I hear them drumming. For dead in Ohio. For dead in Ohio. Gotta get down to it. Soldiers are putting us down.
Well, what have you got to say about the NRC wanting to relicense this plant?
A really dumb idea, a really dangerous way to boil water. 14 earthquake faults underneath this plant. Could there possibly be a problem?
We've talked about it already once, just to try to figure it out.
Hi. Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm terrified of nuclear power and I don't want to live near it. I don't want it to exist. like solar and wind, which we have plenty of today.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm here.
Here.
Everybody out there.
Right place at the right time.
Okay. You're just enjoying the beach, huh?
What?
You're just enjoying the beach.
Yeah, but that's not. We came for the rally.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Oh, yeah.
Make something better, right?
Yeah, so why should
I know, it's not fair.
It doesn't get there very quickly.
So you can't say
Going with nuclear when we've already got solar panels and they work, you know, it's not the best thing out there. It's definitely the best thing out there hasn't been invented yet.
Oh yes, it has.
No.
It just needs to be mass-produced and made available to middle-class
No,
people.
I can prove,
and it'll happen.
prove right
trust
now
me.
that the best thing out there hasn't been invented yet.
No, I'm not saying the best thing hasn't been invented. The best thing for energy, for clean, renewable energy, is available. Most people just can't afford it right now. But there are going to be no more nukes, trust me.
Have you heard of a
Politically and economically, it simply is not going to happen. It hasn't happened since the 70s, so why would it happen now after the disaster that's been uplifted to Chernobyl level? Do you know how many people died from the radiation released at Chernobyl?
Quite a few.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Do we want to risk our families and our future here in San Luis Obispo County when we really don't know if that earthquake can cause a big tsunami and wipe out Diablo? You don't know that. I don't know that. Why should we take a chance?
So we can keep going.
When that thing up there
very limited time.
is never going to die out in our lifetime.
Right. So I mean, we'll take the same risk trying to wage a war to acquisition the resources as we would. You know, there's
He's a college
always
student with
there
good
are
arguments.
always lives at
He's just
stake.
a little. He needs a little tweak, though. Is all. It's good to talk to you, man. I got to go.
Good devil's advocate.
We are being powered by the sun.
These are down-to-earth folks. People like you and I, the people, the wise, good people. Why is it that the people in power don't have the wisdom of the public?
Come on up. We're going to have the royal funkiness. You need to come on up here. Come on up. Oh, good. While they're getting it figured out, I would like to let you know there is a Tsunami Survivors Benefit Concert tomorrow at the Cayucas Vets Hall. There will be live music from noon to dusk, food, drinks, and Jamming for Japan 2011.
Hey, sir, can you tell the public why you're here?
I hear you.
To support solar energy and other alternative energies.
Good for you. Thank you. How about you?
I just don't think nuclear power is the way to go. This plant needs to be shut down. It hasn't been safe from day one.
So, can you tell us why you're here?
The drums they call.
Because I care about the environment we live in. And I don't want to ruin
Spirituality.
by a breakdown like what happened in Japan.
Thank you.
Protection.
How about you? Why are you here?
Guidance.
Well, I want to show that I'm very concerned about a nuclear power plant sitting right on the top of a seismic active area. We have thousands of tons of waste, nuclear waste sitting out there, and 2 nuclear reactors sitting right on top faults that we don't have any idea how severe the earthquakes might be. It is not a rational thing to be doing.
They call. They sing of peace. They sing of love. They say protect and guidance. Divine. From on high and from on to love. How did I arrive? Is it safe? Is it smart?
answers I received by minds young and old reeked of a smell, which I like to call apathy by design. A distant couch sitter's point of view, nurtured by a televised torrential downpour of doom and gloom potentialities. Negatively charged journalism, negative headlines, negative pictures, negative projections, negative Nancy's, plain old bad news, and the spewing forth of insidious babble, read from play cards by suited talking heads, numbing the heart and mind to the point at which catastrophe seems normal. This constant perversion to the darkness must be ingrained somewhere in the business plan of our polluted stream media. But its impact cuts deep into the core of social perspective today, prompting such answers to my nuclear question as, there's no other way. It sucks, but we need it. And it's a necessary evil. However, I declare, no necessary evils exist in the universe. And in fact, what we perceive to be things of evil nature are merely distortions of our true nature, which involves peace and harmony with the planet who has provided and will continue to provide everything we need for all of eternity, at zero cost to the atmosphere, at zero cost to science, and at zero cost to our enjoyment. This planet, despite our relentless industrial batterings, wars, waste, pollution, and destruction, continues to forgive us, waiting with an infinite patience for us to ascend into a dimension of higher mental performance, respect, and love for life. Waiting for us to make the heaven we seek a reality and an unprecedented movement of healing, creativity, reconciliation, and teamwork. We need not resist this apathy by design, and we need not resist deep intuitions, even if they feel negative, worrisome, angry, or even violent. Allow all perspective and examine them thoroughly. Debate and converse of worldly and personal concern. Open ears to those who argue with you, and open minds to the crosswinds of a new Earth's potential. This, I believe, may clear distortion enough for us to question, are these necessary evils beside us, or are they behind us? Thank you.
What have you got to say here to the public?
This is what I've got to say to the public. There are better ways to boil water.
Yes, definitely.
And they don't have the right. Who gave them the right to put our Earth, our planet at risk for their profits? What kind of a system is it that allows that to even be possible?
And the fact that they're destroying and betraying their own families and their own children, too.
The nuclear waste from a nuclear power plant has to be stored in safety away from human beings for 1 million years, according to the EPA. That's 50,000 generations of our descendants who have to take care of our waste for our comfort and greed. I don't want to be a part of that. And I'll do whatever I can to stop it.
What do you do to reduce your carbon footprint?
I'm very conscious of how much energy I use. I never leave a light bulb on. I live in a straw bale house. I don't use energy when I don't have to. I run my truck on the biodiesel that I make out of used vegetable oil. I also run my car on straight vegetable oil. What else do I need to say? Whatever I can. I'm thinking about it all the time. And I'm thinking about it even in terms of concepts of not just technically replacing the energy kilowatt for kilowatt with a replacement, but reducing our usage and learning that, you can have a ball sitting around the porch with a bunch of your friends, husking corn. It doesn't have to be done by a machine, and you can enjoy that work and build community and a better way to live. And that's what people do in Haiti and Africa and places I've been lately, and they have a community that we don't have here. So we pay for this high energy usage in more ways than one.
Thank you.
I grew up in these mountains here right behind us.
Good. Okay. Oh, good.
This is my hometown, Diablo Beach. As a young man, we We were always diving underneath the tables in the Cold War. And as we grew up and got older, we've been living in the fear of fear energy. We have to change the way we use energy and allow our children of the future to live and use fear-free energy. The lessons that Mother Earth teaches us are one that we must lead by example. We must show the way. We must teach our children to use energy wisely. But we must look to Father Sky, as today he shows us that we have unlimited supplies of energy all around us, shining down on us today. We need to support solar energy. We need to support by leading and by showing an example to the children of the future. The Chumash people have always made decisions at least 7 generations into the future. We need to leave something for our children, and we don't need to leave a mess for them to deal with. Support solar energy and the future.
How are you doing?
Fine. We came right with this guy who was
Fred Collins, thank you very much. Coming up next, we have Timo Beckwith and his band of wild guys over here.
Hey, can you explain what you're doing with the sunflower?
So we're making seed bombs. This is the result. They're made with 5 parts of clay, 1 part of compost, and 1 part of seeds, and then about a ½ part of water or less, whatever it takes to make it stick together. And then you can take them just like this, or let them dry, and toss them around in empty lots or by the side of the road. And most of the seeds in it are beautiful heirloom sunflowers.
Wow.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
And at Stanford have developed a system that generates electricity using electrodes and a combination of fresh water and salt water, and nothing more. Great use for estuary.
You guys ready to roll? Nice warm welcome for Timo and company.
Thank you, Lady Tie-Dye. Thank you all for being here. Let's put the power.
I'm here. This nuclear power is extremely dangerous. It can destroy our whole world, and we live so close to it, and it's so unnecessary. You know, all we need to do is conserve more. In our country, nuclear power is only about 10%. A little bit of conservation would easily offset that. We don't need nuclear power. Those were some of the safest nuclear reactors in the world. In Japan, my understanding is. And here at Diablo, there's a big earthquake fault right underneath it. I feel this is very unsafe and unwise, should never have been approved in the first place, and needs to be shut down immediately by our government, needs to take immediate urgent action. We're playing Russian roulette with all of our lives. It's very unsafe.
If you want to play with it to get familiar with, you know.
Here, can
you see?
Yeah. And then I press it when I'm ready to go.
Press right, yeah.
And all I do is press it. I have to put it in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Do I have to put it in the middle? No.
Yeah.
Just press it,
No,
right?
Just press it in the middle, yeah.
That's all I'm going to do is press. Why are you here today?
I'm here because, like everyone else, the people do not want nuclear power. And thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people are dying of cancer from nuclear fallout, from plutonium released from these plants, from Chernobyl even to this day, from Diablo Canyon leaks and leaks of all nuclear power plants that do leak despite the lies. I'm furious with the media for not focusing more on this issue, for being entangled and owned by the corporations that want to make money and do not listen to the people, and the fact that they betray their own children and their own families and their own people that they love to build more nuclear power plants. So everyone, if you don't speak up, you know, we're doomed. And it's time for all of us to be here on a regular basis.
Please join me and say it with me. Shut it down.
Shut it.
Mothers for Peace calls for no more nuclear victims. Our hearts ache for the people of northern Japan, and we want no more nuclear victims. That includes us. Let's stop the endangerment of current and future living beings in the shadow of Diablo Canyon. Now is the time to shut it down.
No, they're all saying everything I would say.
Thank you for joining San Luis Obispo Mothers for Peace and like-minded organizations and individuals here today to help spread our message to the world. The Mothers for Peace has multiple roles. One is unique to us. The one we claimed in 1973 as legal interveners, thanks to Liz Apfelberg, who is here today. We met and we still meet the NRC's criteria for having legal standing so that we can challenge its faulty decisions regarding Diablo Canyon using the legal channels available. In 1973, the mother said that a workable evacuation plan is not possible. In 2011, that is still true. So it's time to shut it down.
What do we want?
Shut it down.
What do we want?
Shut it down.
What do we want?
Shut it down.
In 1973, the mother said that Diablo is a potential target of terrorists. And in 2011, it certainly still is. So it is still time to
Shut it down. Shut it down. Crystal. Shut it down. Shut it down.
In 1974, Mothers for Peace filed to stop the original operating license for Diablo Canyon, pointing out that it's against the NRC's regulations to allow a nuclear plant near a major active earthquake fault. And Bahashri, as you know, is 3.5 miles away. But in 1984, the license for Diablo Canyon was, and I quote the NRC, grandfathered in because the utility had spent billions of dollars to build the darn thing in the wrong place. Let's shut it down.
What do we want?
Shut it down.
What do we want?
Shut it down.
One more time, louder. What do we want?
Shut it down.
Since February of 2010, Mothers for Peace has been challenging PG&E's application for license renewal. You'll hear more about that shortly from other speakers. But for now, I'll just say if PG&E won't voluntarily withdraw its application for license renewal, at least until the seismic studies are done and peer-reviewed, and until the lessons are learned from the disaster at Fukushima, Japan, if they won't withdraw their application for license renewal voluntarily, then the decommissioning process should start, and we need to
shut it down.
2 days ago, Mothers for Peace continues to make history as a legal intervener. 2 days ago, on the 14th, Mothers for Peace joined 44 other organizations and filed an emergency petition demanding that the NRC immediately suspend consideration of all licensing activities across the nation until it completes a thorough study of the Fukushima crisis.
Mothers for Peace attorney Diane Curran did this filing representing Mothers for Peace and those 44 other organizations. It's on our website if you want to read it. But the NRC's response to Fukushima so far has been, guess what? Business as usual. Something that our State Senator Sam Blakesley and our Congresswoman Lois Capps witnessed recently at a U.S. Senate hearing. That viewpoint in the Friday Tribune will tell you about that. So Fukushima has given us our greatest warning. Mother Nature is full of surprises. And this one's a little different because unlike our previous warnings, Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island, in this case, it's the spent fuel pools and not the reactors themselves that are the greatest source of radiation release. So until the NRC has at least studied and found out what the hay went wrong there, there's no moral and there's no legal excuse for doing business as usual. It is time to shut it down. We can't trust a corporation that claims to ask for a delay of their license renewal on a Friday, and then on Tuesday makes it clear that they want the NRC to process their application business as usual, full steam ahead. We cannot trust the corporation that has such a low regard for public safety that it lost its records about where it buried its high-pressure pipelines and just blew up half of San Bruno. I could go on with a list like this for 5 hours, but I won't. We got the idea. We can't trust PG&E, so it's time to shut it down.
What do we want?
Stuff of nuclear weapons proliferation. It is also the stuff of dirty bombs. In addition to our legal role, Mothers for Peace defines the essence of motherhood: caring, nurturing, and working to provide a safe environment for future generations. Every one of you here today is a mother. It has nothing to do with biology. It has to do with values and the actions you take upon those values. We all hold life in high regard, and nuclear power is counter to our reverence for the living and our reverence for the planning. Since there is no such thing as a safe, clean nuclear power plant, and since we want no more nuclear victims, I conclude my remarks by thanking you for joining us in saying, again, shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. We're going to have a word right now from, we're going to give a little factoid. Linda's going to give you some more information just to plug into your head here to be able to share with your friends.
This is a factoid about the Mothers for Peace. Mothers for Peace has been here in San Luis Obispo since 1969. We're fighting a legal case right now for the relicensing of Diablo Canyon. We're a nonprofit 501c3. I hope that every single person here will dig into your pockets and donate whatever you can to help the Mothers for Peace shut this nuclear plant down ASAP. Thank you.
Okay, and with a word about renewable energy future, we've got Eric Viam.
How's everybody doing? Yeah! My name's Eric Viam. I'm here today to share with you the future of San Luis Obispo County, the future of California, and the future of the world. That future is a renewable energy future. That future is a nuclear-free future. I am a renewable energy systems engineer working in San Luis Obispo County, funded by the state of California, to understand what resources we have here locally and how we build those renewable resources in our communities. The project is called SLOW RESCO. RESCO being Renewable Energy Secure Community, and that's what we want. I'm the local team lead, working with a group of highly committed, extremely talented, and innovative people who are looking at bringing these solutions to San Luis Obispo County to create a model to lead for the rest in the state of California and the rest of our country so that we can create that local renewable energy San Luis Obispo County that we want. Thank you. So what is local renewable energy? First of all, local renewable energy is abundant. We are surrounded with energy flows beyond our wildest imagination. The work of our Slow Resco is to actually quantify that, to understand how much sun shines, how much wind blows, where the grass grows, where the water flows. And what we're finding is that energy is all around us and that we are surrounded in opportunity to develop local renewable energy. Renewable energy is abundant. The future of local renewable energy in San Luis Obispo County brings us certainty. Diablo Canyon and nuclear power only brings us uncertainty. Why do we have to toast our bread and heat our water for showers in fear and denial? We don't. We're in the process of making strong movements to make sure that we bring greater certainty to our understanding around the seismic activity around Diablo Canyon. The certainty that we gain may teach us that in fact Diablo Canyon must be shut down because of the extreme safety issues that it poses. We may learn that. We may not. We may find a different answer. But that brings us great uncertainty. And what local renewable energy does is it brings certainty to the economic future of San Luis Obispo County. If Diablo Canyon shuts down, all of the money that it brings in, approximately $200 million in the economy every year, is lost. We should start planning for the new energy economy, start creating the new energy economy right now. That's the local renewable energy economy here in San Luis Obispo County. Local renewable energy is local. It's local because we build it here. We operate it here, we maintain it here. It powers our homes. It powers our businesses and our farms. It powers our cars. And it powers the speakers. That's right, look at that. And what that does is it helps our economy locally to thrive. It helps our communities to thrive so that we have good jobs here and that we have a long future in San Luis Obispo as the things around the world change, that we're creating a resilient place here locally and doing the things that we can locally, and that's creating a local renewable energy system. It's also about local control. Yeah. Do we really need to beg the NRC to do the prudent and responsible thing to stop relicensing until we have the opportunity to bring greater certainty to the world around, the seismic situation around San Luis Obispo County? Why don't we take control back, bring it into our own hands? And I'm not talking from some ideological position. We have solutions. That's the thing I want to tell you today. That's the hope I bring today, is that there are solutions that we have now in our hands to make this happen. I'm going to tell you about those in just a minute here. The last thing I want to say about local renewable energy is that it's here. The future of local renewable energy, San Luis Obispo County, is here. It's not in the future, it's now. The technologies exist, the financial mechanisms exist. The only thing that we lack is political will to get the job done, all right? So raising our voices, telling our local elected officials, telling our state elected officials, and not lowering our voice, showing up the next time we meet with 10 times the number of people. And what that does is lets them know that now is the time for political leadership. Now is the time to stop bowing down to the powerful forces that have tentacles throughout our community. Now is the time for us to choose the path of local renewable energy in SLO County. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There are challenges ahead of us, right? There are technical challenges. When I see challenge, I see opportunity for innovation, for job creation, for human creativity on so many levels. Diablo, nuclear power, there's no room for innovation there anymore. The challenges that Diablo and nuclear power faces, their solutions that they've come up with, their innovation, is digging a hole in the ground and hiding the waste for 10 to 100,000 years for our next civilizations to encounter, unfortunately. That's the innovation that they've created. A local renewable energy future for SLO County is a whole world of creativity and abundance and opportunity for our community and for California, and we should be the leaders starting here, all right? And I'm going to tell you how we do that. So the path to a thriving future for SLO County is renewable. Currently, I think we're very lucky. We're very lucky to have Sam Blakesley on our back as our state senator. Yeah, we need to support this man. We need to tell friends and families and people that we meet on the street that Sam Blakesley is working for San Luis Obispo and for California. He's working to address some of the barriers to getting renewable energy integrated into our grid. And he's willing to take political leadership to bring us something. I don't want to get real detailed into policy, but there's something out there you guys need to look into called clean contracts. Cleancoalition.org, write that down, tell each other today, check it out. What that does is pays us, pays the homeowner, pays the renter, pays the business, pays the farmer to generate renewable energy here. All right? This is something that's happening now in California and something we're trying to do this year. A properly designed clean contract will help us to access that abundant renewable energy we have around us. The other piece, the thing that we can do locally, the thing that we can do to return power and choice to San Luis Obispo is working closely with our business partners, with the business community, with agriculture, with labor, with our elected officials, and have a serious conversation about community choice energy programs here in San Luis Obispo County. What that means is our ability to take the power back, to decide as a community what our mix of energy is, what we're buying, and what we're building here locally. With a community choice energy program, we can decide not to buy any more energy from Diablo Canyon. Thank you. This exists now. This is an opportunity. Models are this is being proven throughout California. All that remains now is political leadership, the voice of the community, raising up to let our elected officials know that the utility will not stop us from reaching the renewable energy future that we desire. And it's going to take each and every one of us, and it's going to take our business community and our agriculture community, our elected officials, our school districts, everybody to speak up to let them know that this is the thing that we want. This is where we're going, and nobody's going to stop us going there. Demand leadership from our elected officials and demand local renewable energy.
This is a picture of Diablo Canyon, and as you can see, the Diablo Canyon plant is right next to the water. And PG&E has been lying to the public on the news. I heard them say that it was way back in the hills, so that there was no chance of a tidal wave. But you can see here that it would be wiped out. And they say, Judith, who wrote this book, and is a member of Mothers of Peace, right?
Yes.
You say that you were arrested near Diablo at that time, back in '82, when we had the big demonstration. 10,000 people came.
Yes.
And you said then that it was more like 6 feet.
It seemed so. We were in a pen there, arrested. And we were very close to the ocean because it was freezing cold. But this was the 1981
right.
And I got arrested twice. It was
Right.
quite an exciting time because of the camaraderie and the information that we gave each other, and it was thrilling to be in jail with 600 other activist women. I really didn't want it to end,
Yes,
the
right.
whole thing. And it was the Abalone Alliance who did the actual organizing.
Right. What happened to them?
They're still in San Francisco, some of the members. There's a man here called Bruce Campbell, and I must see him again because he had a lot of part in the 81. He hitchhiked up and down the coast and brought us lots of information and so on. Yes, so, well, I'm very happy you are spreading the news because we need to know more in Santa Barbara. We are impacted daily by the gases that come down as a plume. Now people are waking up because the plume is coming from such a terrible accident in Japan, but there doesn't even have to be an accident. For each day, I talk with PG&E people, and they said it's like an early morning mist each morning when they let out some excess gases, and so it travels around.
Yes,
Affects
we're all
food
getting
and-
it.
Yeah. And I've also heard, and I don't know if you could corroborate, that they have found radiation in milk in San Luis Obispo.
Yes. Well, they found it in Spokane as
Oh,
well.
yes, I see.
And they found it everywhere. I mean, wherever there's,
Massachusetts?
not, I shouldn't say they found it everywhere because they don't have those radiation
Things
stations,
everywhere,
but
right.
it's everywhere. And, you know, the depleted uranium that President Bush and his gang of terrorists have spread across the globe. Uranium lasts, what, 1 billion years or something, a half-life? I mean, and, you know, and then you have this, so there's no question of why people are dying of cancer at such rapid rates, and lung cancer is the #1 cancer. And that's what Dr. John Goffman predicted. That
Right, he was
we
a
would-
brilliant, brave man, and he came down here to Avila Beach to actually talk at concerts before our actions began.
Yes.
And he, of course, he said the famous thing, was it this, using nuclear power to heat and get other energy is just like cutting a piece of butter with a chainsaw.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's not
yeah.
needed.
Not needed, exactly. And yeah, he recently died, but it's sort of, this is a tribute to him because he was the titan that brought down nuclear power. And,
Right.
and he spoke out, and he was the one who discovered uranium and plutonium.
I
was
think
the
he regretted all that.
Yeah,
very
he was
much.
the co-discoverer, and when they asked him, the Atomic Energy Commission asked him to come up with safe dosage, he studied it and to his dismay found there was no safe dose. And so these isotopes are going around in our food and our water for the next 100,000 years, you know? And so Mothers for Peace, you've always played a huge ongoing role in educating, you
Yeah,
know?
the mothers have been wonderfully successful as interveners.
Yeah.
And they had standing early in the process, and
Yeah.
so they've used it.
Yeah.
They've probably kept that plant safe for us so far because they've been watchdogs. They've pointed out bad joists and all kinds of bad things about the plant.
Yeah.
And if there's any doubt about people in San Luis Obispo wanting nuclear power, we only have to look at today. There seem to be 1,000 people here with their signs and dancing and camaraderie between the people. And so my chapter 25 in my book is a actual what will I say, account of people's talking to the Atomic Safety and Licensing Board, and we spoke out against it. The community said no back then in 1992, and it hasn't changed its mind.
No, and the people are wise, and they don't
They
want
are,
it, you know.
no.
But the leaders, there's an old saying that, what is it? There's an old saying, and I can't even remember it. That's sad.
If the people lead, the leaders will follow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
If the people will lead, the leaders will follow, you know.
That's a very good one.
And yeah, so Well, thank you. Thank you, Judith.
This is David Broadwater, because I have to go up after his. I can't tell if it's him or not. Yes, my book is available in Santa Barbara. One place would be the Amazon.com, and another way would be to write to me, Gulita, 8153. That's zip is 93118, or phone me at 805-685-8822. And I would send a copy to
That's
anybody
805
685
685
8822.
8822.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
People, that's the only way you're going to be heard completely. We have right now special guests. A warm welcome to Aaron English. Hello, good people. How are you? You know, I've been doing some thinking. I work for a local school district, and it's caused me to do a lot of thinking. After the accident that happened in Japan, parents were afraid to send their children to school. Even though it was deemed safe, a lot of them didn't. And I have to ask, is it worth it to be afraid to send your child to school? And I think that's one of our smart concerns. I was hired on by this school district to help them be more sustainable. I've been working there 4 months, and in the past 4 months, we've been able to save over $50,000 in electricity and gas by turning things off. And I think it's important to remember as we go and step forward and say, let's change where we get our energy, we have to change how we use it too. Want nuclear energy, we also have to be able to say we don't need it. And every kilowatt hour less that we use, it's gonna make it easier for us to offset our energy. So I challenge you to take that message home too. I challenge you to go to your school district that's in your area where your children go and say, how can I help? Because it's something that we can do together. So I've got a song here for you today that I wrote, and it's about questioning our morals. It's about questioning what we do and rethinking. Your money is no good. Take it somewhere else. If you wonder why, ask yourself, have I been good? Have I been bad? Have I been good or bad? Will be my judge.
Why are you here?
Well, because I think it's important, and I think my generation is the future of the world, and we need to make a change in what we're doing right now.
Good for you. And what do you do to reduce your carbon footprint?
I turn off the lights and try not to use energy as much, and instead of using light, actual energy, I try to use sunlight.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. How about you?
What do I do to reduce my carbon footprint?
Yeah, why are you here?
Oh, why am I here?
And then what do you do?
I'm here because I think that...
You can speak up. We've got a
I'm
lot.
here because I think that absolutely, unequivocally, you don't do things backward. Try to do them forward. And that means you map first, then relicense. They have new technology that makes the mapping more accurate. I feel that that's the #1 thing about the nuclear power plant that's a sticking point. Map, figure it out. I live in Cayucas, right up the coast. I don't want to see anything happen to any place on Earth, but it's certainly where I live, I'm concerned about my own daily life. So yeah, it's right in my face.
Yeah.
And I really care. I don't think the nuclear power plant is safe today. I want to know all the answers. I think we all deserve them because we live here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And don't do it backwards. Find out first, then give us the answers, and then we can all make an informed decision.
Yeah, right. And what do you do to reduce your carbon footprint?
I do a lot of things, but one of the things I do often is take the train instead of drive. We have a rail system here that's not as utilized as it could be, so try to take the train as often as you can.
Good, thank you. Hi.
Hello.
Why are you here today?
Well, I'm here because I'm just sick of living under a nuclear power plant. I've been against it ever since it began, and I think the mere fact that they are not allowed to have it insured demonstrates its capability for failure. I mean, everybody here in the United States, California, we've got to pay insurance. We pay health insurance, business for our businesses, and we pay for our houses, our cars. They don't have to pay it. And the reason they don't have to, which they will tell you, is that no insurance agency could cover a nuclear accident. And so they're gambling with our lives. I mean, when they roll that dice, it's us that are going down while they get their pockets lined with money. You know, we're the goats that are going to slaughter for this. And, you know, to have children living with radiation and plutonium and nuclear storage, it's just inherently wrong. And it's just time, now that we have this disaster going on in Japan, which we know about, think about all the ones we don't know about, we have to stand tall and say, God, take a look at this. This is not getting it. So that's why I'm here.
Do you know that the private insurance industry refused to insure nuclear power plants, so our government decided to do it? The Price-Anderson Act.
They did?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes.
So the taxpayer, we're the ones.
Billions of dollars are being invested in research and development right now by our government. Site plan, site design, site new technology, and all that money and insurance, 100% loan guarantees, and insuring the nuclear power industry. That's what people need to know. Stop the government from funding nuclear power. It was dying a slow death, and even the nuclear power industry has said that our government is to reinvigorate the nuclear power industry in America. It was dying on its own, and our government came in and saved them. Now we've got one arm of our government, NRC, regulating nuclear power. We got the other arm of our government who's funding it and developing it, Department of Energy, who already has the authority to develop small reactors, nuclear reactors, and they've been doing it. The site in Idaho, for instance. So, conflict of interest right there. But billions of dollars that they are using to fund nuclear power could be going into other green energies. It's actually hurting the other green, renewable energy industries with all the money going into nuclear power, because it's not being funneled where it should be, into safer energy. That's what we got to say. That's what SanePlanet.org is supposed to help do, is let people be aware of this, and we're affiliated with Mothers for Peace, and we're supporting Mothers for Peace.
Yeah.
But how many people know that? Did anybody here know this?
No. No.
Our own government since 2005.
No. It's insane that they're even insuring it. Because
yeah, look it up. Price-Anderson Act. How many people know? Bush Jr. quietly passed this through, and nobody knows about it. How can that be? Billions of dollars our government is funding nuclear power industry, and how come people don't know? Because it's a bit of cover-up. They don't want them to know. In this conflict of interest, our government has a funding it and regulating it has got to stop.
I know. When you know, the trouble is, I call my Congressman Sam Farr on an issue 10 times, and I still haven't gotten an answer that I asked for.
You got to be a part of a group, honey.
I am. A huge group.
Good.
You know, and,
look up the Mothers for Peace just put on their website the petition to the NRC to stop all relicensing. Okay.
I've signed that already.
Look at all those groups that are there.
Right.
And just, I'm going to list all those scripts on our website, hopefully. I'm going to get them all. We just started literally days ago, sameplanet.org, because it's been a dearth of information out there on government funding, for instance. So that's what my goal is, to let people be aware of that, because that's what's revitalizing the whole industry.
All the money.
Yes, private insurance companies said it's too risky. What does that tell you about nuclear energy? How's that safe if their own private insurance companies refuse to insure it?
Yeah, right.
Well, bottom line right there, it's economics. I met a lady from San Juan Islands. She got the economic picture of a nuclear power site they were going to build there, and she said this is how much money it really takes to run a nuclear site with all the problems initially and the startup, $18 billion, and let the government know, and she got that site shut down. Never happened.
It's going to take...
It's economics. If you just talk about the economics, they will go away.
It's going to take Diablo Canyon and San Onofre to wipe out California before these people in government even begin to listen to us.
You can't wait for a disaster, because then our kids are dead, okay? Elderly and children. What you want to do, you look at what's happened already. In 1989, they shut down 71 miles north of San Francisco, a nuclear power plant, because it was 1,000 feet from a fault line. This is 300 yards less than that from a fault line, the shoreline fault line at Diablo, okay? For the same reason, we can get this shut down, but it takes awareness of people, because you've got the nuclear power industry saying that it doesn't matter how close you are to a fault line. They're literally said that, PG&E said that Wednesday at their meeting. Doesn't matter how close you are to a fault line.
Right. Well, PG&E, none of us respect what PG&E says. We know that they don't know what they're talking about, and they'll say anything.
Instead of beyond them not know what they're talking about, they do know what they're talking about, but they don't want us to know the other side of this equation, which is the liability side of it.
But we also know they don't know what they're talking about, because they didn't even know they were building on an earthquake fault.
Well, no, they didn't know either. They didn't know either.
That's what I'm talking
about.
After so an authenticated person or corporation that knows what they're talking about is going to check out a fault line to make sure there is no fault line before they build such plants.
Absolutely.
So right there they lost their credibility.
But what they're saying now, and that's what we need to pay attention to, what they're saying right now is it doesn't matter if they're on top of a fault line, it's still safe.
Right.
But they're only built to withstand a 7.5 to 8.0 depending on the shaking, the amount of shaking going on.